Hey everybody, it is Tuesday, September 22nd, and I'm going to do a read aloud with you guys. I was hoping that I'd be able to do a Google Meet and talk about this in Google Meet, but this is the next best option. So we're going to be reading a story called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon. Let me actually change chairs so you guys can see me better. All right, perfect. So I really like this book because it teaches character traits. You might have talked about that a little bit in second grade. So a character is any person or animal in a story. Okay, so if you're reading a story and the turtle can talk and he's the main character, he's still a character, even though he's not a person. So it's any person or any animal in a story. So as you can probably guess, our main character is Molly Lou Melon. Okay, Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon is our title. This is our front cover. This one has a really skinny spine. This is our back cover. And as we read this story, I want you to think about what are some words that you would use to describe Molly Lou Melon. The words that you'd use to describe a character are called character traits. Okay, so be thinking of adjectives that describe Molly Lou. This is called the title page. Title page, like I said, is if you get amnesia and you just totally forgot everything on the front cover. That's what the title page is for. It just kind of reiterates and tells you who wrote the story, what the title is, and who draws the pictures. Well, it's written by Patty Lovell, and it's illustrated by David Catrow. Remember, the author writes the words. The author writes the words. Hi-ho, did you know? The author writes the words. The illustrator draws the pictures. The illustrator draws the pictures. Hi-ho, did you know? The illustrator draws the pictures. Molly Lou Melon stood just taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Walk as proudly as you can and the world will look up to you." So I can already think of a word to describe Molly Lou. It would be an external character trait because it's something you see on the outside. We know she is short or small. So she did. That automatically tells you that she is very proud. Courageous to stand super tall because she's very small. Molly Lou Melon had buck teeth that stuck out so far that she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Smile big and the world will smile right alongside you." So she did. My goodness. Some big teeth. Molly Lou Melon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." Sounds like her grandma is her biggest fan. She takes all of these attributes or all these character traits and she spins them and makes Molly Lou Melon believe in herself. So she did. I know that a word that I could probably use to describe Molly Lou Melon, it's confident. No matter what people would think of her, she seems to kind of rock it. And she listens to her grandma, and her grandma says, "Hey, just go with it and rock it." Let's see what other things describe Molly Lou Melon. Molly Lou Melon was often fumble-fingered, meaning she's really clumsy. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself and the world will believe in you too." I bet you can guess what's on this next page. So she did. Then Molly Lou Melon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. A word that I can infer to describe Molly Lou Melon, well, at least if I were Molly Lou Melon, I would be kind of sad and nervous. Let's see how she feels. And she had to start a new school. Ooh. That's really nerve-wracking to go into a new school and be a new student. I'm sure many of you guys have moved schools and maybe came to Benton as a new student. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Melon caught the football. She ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, wow, she's good. And Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. What's a word that you'd use to describe Molly Lou Melon now? I would think brave, courageous, athletic. On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky-Toothed Beaver. Molly Lou Melon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. Love how confident Molly Lou Melon is. She is rocking it. Wish I was as confident as she is. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck, honk honk." Molly Lou Melon sang out a quack so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon, and Ronald Durkin felt very foolish. I know a word to describe Ronald Durkin. Very foolish. He is foolish. On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she'd make the snowflake all wrong, but Molly Lou Melon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and awed, even Ronald. To be able to make this snowflake, she has to be very artistic. That would be a character trait. Very talented. That's another character trait. Innovative. On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin bought Molly Lou Melon a stacking penny for her tooth, and then he smiled at her. We're seeing some character development out of Ronald Durkin. That's where the character changes. You know, in movies, whenever someone starts out as the bad guy, and then you end up really liking them towards the end of the movie, I think that's happening with Ronald Durkin. Character development, where you see the character change. That night, Molly Lou Melon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. I would have a lot of nice words to say to grandma because she's who made her so confident and in herself. So let's see what she has to say. Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Melon. All right, so we looked at characters, character development, character traits. The main thing I want you to get out of this is our main character was Molly Lou Melon, and we talked about a bunch of different words that could describe Molly Lou Melon. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to create a Google slide that tells some different words that you thought of and why you've thought of that. So if you wanted to say, I think Molly Lou Melon is athletic, I know this because she scored a touchdown in football. Okay, you have to back it up. You can't just tell me a word to describe her and then not tell me why. So in the Google slide, it's really important that you finish the sentence that says, I know this because. Also on the Google slide, the very last slide says something about a secret word or a code word. The code word is pool because I'm out here at my parents' house and they have a pool. Okay, so whenever you're typing in the secret code word, you're going to put the word pool, P-O-O-L. Okay, like a pool that you swim in. And this tells me whether you watch the video or not. Okay, so I can automatically put a complete grade if I see that you put the word pool. All right, have a great Tuesday and let me know if you have any questions.